Welcome everybody to Chalice and Chains. My name is Sam. Today we are running some basic fantasy role-playing game right here, which is kind of quickly becoming my new favorite, definitely my new favorite OSR, if you want to call it that. Some people don't. And definitely my go-to for fantasy at this point. Simple, quick, and it's free. So if you want to check this out, basicfantasy.org. It's awesome. Check it out. And we're going to play today an adventure that I created called the Temple of Tranquility. And it's set in a series of games that I'm calling the Order of the Chalice, which essentially is there's this secretive order within the world, all over the world, that believes that at one point during the creation of the world, there was a magic chalice, whether that's a physical cup or something else, that was responsible for everlasting life, as well as healing of, both bodily injuries and ailments and whatever. And over the years and the millennia, that chalice has been lost to humanity. And with it, most of those benefits. Humans are now mortal. Most of the races are now mortal. And people die all the time of sickness and disease. And so this order has searched throughout the world for this chalice. They seek rumors, and they will pay and fund expeditions when they believe that intelligence is possible, that they might find something. And they have been very excited because they believe that they have some rumors that might be very promising. Some members of the order have received information from a pirate crew that they found a mysterious island out in the middle of the ocean. And the crew managed to make a map with the location to this island. They didn't spend a lot of time on the island because they found that it was extremely deadly. The native population was incredibly deadly, but they were able to, at one point, when they stopped to take a drink of water, they found restorative properties in some of the water, as well as the plant life. Certain herbs on the island would restore health. And so, unfortunately, they weren't able to stay much longer because they were kicked off the island, essentially, just by how dangerous it was. And it wasn't their intention to go there in the first place. But they made quite a pretty penny from the order, and now they have called you guys. They have said to you that you are to seek out this island and simply explore it. Find out if there is any truth to the rumor, if there is possibly the chalice. And there was also, what they put together that the pirates didn't know, was that there was knowledge in an ancient tome hidden deep within the annals of the church libraries and even some of the magical establishments in the world that spoke of a Temple of Tranquility. And this was one of the places that kind of feeds the myth of the chalice. Whether it's a myth, the order doesn't believe it is, but. And so it was talked about this verdant place, this place that was hard to find, but that was teeming with life, and that it was dangerous because any place like this would be. The temple is guarded by natural guardians, but that those that are deemed worthy would find these healing waters and gain the benefits. And throughout history, those that had supposedly had gone on to be the kings and the rulers and the great warlords and conquerors of the world. And so you guys find yourselves on a ship 3 or 4 days out from port. Your captain has told you that, based on the map that you've shared with him, it's probably only another day or two travel at most. But he's concerned because based on his, sort of sailor knowledge, it looks like a storm is brewing. And so he basically tells you guys, he asks you guys, what do you want to do? If we are going to sail to this island, we will have to go through the storm. Or we could delay, but if we delay, we may run out of provisions and have to turn back. So when you guys say, no, we must press on, this is what our order has told us to do, he says, okay. And you press on through the storm. And it's one hell of a storm as you guys pass through. And I don't know whether you would have ever been on ships or out at sea or not, but this is one of those things where this is probably nothing that you've ever experienced. Or if it has, it's on a level that you've just never encountered before. And the ship is just rocking back and forth. You feel sometimes as though it may capsize, lightning hitting all around you, buckets of rain coming down, making the deck slippery and hard to see. And then, as if fate was telling you that you were not going to make this island very easily, and because it's one of my favorite tropes, a giant wave crashes up over the deck. You can hear the splitting of the ship as it just gets ripped apart by these waves, and you plunge into the black depths. And as you take your breath, knowing you're going to go into the water, it's a good thing that you do, because the shocking cold of this water nearly causes you to pass out. You all of a sudden are submerged, and you're just getting tossed about. You can't tell which way is up. And just as you feel like you're going to run out of air, everything goes black. And what I want everyone to do for me right now is roll a d6 and let me know what you get. Okay, Aloy and Jose got a 5. How do you get a 1? Oh, you guys got 5s? All right. Oh, poor Salazar.
I got a 1.
Is the one to wake up last. Okay, so Valdar, sorry, you awaken on the beach, and you feel this, just this like vibrating underneath you. You realize there's this coarse something on your face, on your body. You can't really see because, but you can sense light. And as you kind of pop your head up a little bit and spit like sand out of your mouth, you realize you're on a beach. And you look up and you kind of look around, and you see near you, also starting to get up, your companion Eldrazar and your companion Cassius. Salazar, the thief, has been, as far as you can tell, knocked unconscious, and all around you is the wreckage of this ship that you came in on. Some of the boxes and barrels and whatever are still intact, but for all intents and purposes, this ship is destroyed. But worse than that, you see this the source of this vibration. You look kind of down the beach a little bit, and you can see a number of sort of hazy figures, but one in particular stands out. It's this ginormous crab, something, way bigger than you would have ever seen before, these big pincers, and it's coming towards you, potentially curious about who you are and maybe a source of food. So what are you going to do?
All right. So Valdar first tries to make sure he has at least his shield ready, and tries to rouse his companions.
Absolutely. And you're able to do so. I would say, Eldrazar and Cassius, you're both waking up at the same time, and perhaps you come into sharp consciousness as maybe you get like a kick or a nudge from Valdar. And Valdar, as you see these two wake up...
If you value your hides.
What?
What goes on here?
I pretty much just spew up water, and as I'm spewing up the water, I say, "Oh God, this is why I always drive."
My books. Where are my books? I check and see if I have my positions with me.
Yes, you do. And you were fortunate that you guys were provided with these sort of oiled sacks that would effectively be waterproof. And you had the good sense to keep that close to you and put your spell book in there. So yes, you have your gear with you.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent.
But you do see this giant crab, and behind it you see about, you can make out maybe 6 figures. They look rather humanoid, but it's hard to tell with the sun kind of beating down on you, and with the fact that you've just roughly been, woken up here. But you can sense you might be in danger.
Well, I try to if Salazar isn't waking up, Valdar would try to sling over his shoulder, and then try to see if there's any place where he could shelter him, right, from where we could hide from this thing.
Is there enough wreckage to like a big piece of the hull or something we could shelter him?
Yeah. So potentially there is a piece of kind of the hull of the ship on the beach. It's exposed, right? So at some point this thing probably could get to you, but it at least might give you some temporary cover or a way to maybe make a stand, right?
Could I dash to the top to maybe get a vantage point of the...
Yeah, I think that would be fine. I think you could run kind of up, and you kind of scramble up onto the wreckage, and you kind of, it's sort of half like tipped on its side. You kind of are standing up on the wall, all piratey, right? And and you look out, and yeah, you can definitely see this large crab, just gigantic, coming at you. And behind it, you see what looks like, maybe like the crew of the ship or something. You can't quite make it out, but they look to be wearing the sailor's clothes. They have the same look that that the people that were bringing you here had, but something seems off about them. They're moving rather slowly and behind this crab. And the crab, actually, you can kind of get the impression the crab is scuttling ahead of these things, like he doesn't want to mess with them. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
This bodes ill.
Well, why don't you two guys try to help out Salazar, and I'm gonna stick an arrow in this crab's eyeball.
Be ready to defend us, Valdar. I'll see to Salazar myself, and I try to rouse him. Maybe if my water skin is still with me, I'll pour some water on this.
We have seawater.
Yeah, absolutely. So yes, you would be able to raise Salazar. So would you and Valdar kind of be trying to like wake him up and maybe pull him into the hull of the ship for cover?
Correct.
Okay, fantastic. So you guys are able to do that. And as you're doing that, the crab is getting closer and closer. Cassius, if you want to take a shot at this thing, you certainly can. But you would know, being a trained archer, this thing's, sort of just the plates, the chitinous plates of a crab, they're pretty tough. So this is going to be a tough shot for you to make. But I will say, because you're standing up on top of, this thing, you have kind of a height advantage on him, and you have good, clear view. I'll give you a +2 on your roll.
All right, sure, let's do it. Let's draw one back and let it fly.
Do it.
Alright. Am I rolling a d6?
No, you will roll a d20 to hit, and if you have a bonus to your dexterity, you will add that to the roll.
Plus the attack bonus for being a fighter. Right?
Plus the attack bonus, yep.
I got an 8.
Okay, so that is not enough to wound this thing. You see your arrow just bounce right off of its hide and goes, kind of back to the thing. It definitely, it looks up, but it barely seemed to register as it just kind of just shrugs it off, and its pincers, but it's noticed you, and so it's
right. So I'm gonna drop down from this wreckage. I'm gonna slide down from the wreckage very non-gracefully because now I'm panicked, And I'm gonna run down and I'm gonna yell out to the guys and I'm gonna say, I pissed off some hell of a big crab.
Like, guys, that didn't work.
Oops.
Excellent. And so what I'll have you guys do for me now, let's formally roll initiative, just because I want to kind of narrate everything in that sort of structured time.
D6.
Great. What I'll do is I'll let you guys, you just keep track of your order, and then I'm just going to call 6, 5, 4, 3, whatever. And as you guys have that number, let me know. So who acts on a 6? Anybody? Nope. Okay. 5, 4. Ooh, that's no good for you. Crab acts on a 4. All right. So the crab starts kind of, and he knows that you're in the thing, and for a minute you guys are all sort of huddled in there, and you see the pincers kind of trying to get at you, but you're fortunately in a spot where like his pincers are too big, so he's gonna make like a big, and he just kind of slams his big claw down on the wreckage. The whole thing sort of shakes on you, and some debris starts coming down. So far, you're not trapped, but a hole definitely cracks in the hull. You feel like you might have maybe a round, if you're lucky, before this guy breaks through. But who's got a 3 for initiative?
I do.
Okay, all right, great. So we've got Eldrazar and we've got Cassius. Who wants to go first? I'll say Cassius, probably you have the higher dexterity.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. So are you going to try to unleash another arrow at this thing, or what would you like to do?
Yeah, I'm gonna do another arrow. Yep.
Okay.
I'm gonna try.
Okay, great. Unfortunately, you don't get the +2 bonus this time because you're kind of shooting through like a thing, and it's but yeah, go for it.
So I got a not a critical hit, but a modified 20. So
okay, well that does hit. So awesome. So go ahead. I think does your bow deal a D8 or a D6?
D8.
D8. Yeah. Awesome. Yeah, go ahead and roll that. And I don't know. Rules is written. You don't add your strength modifier to damage on a bow, do you? Do you know?
No.
I don't think so.
No, you don't. No.
What's that? No. So for damage, you're just gonna roll your straight D8. Yeah.
Okay. So just 7 damage.
Okay. Nice. So you managed to get this thing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Like bury an arrow kind of right in between like its neck and its sort of shoulder area, and it pierces right through. This crab lets out this, and it definitely is shrieking in it, and the whole thing is like, and for a moment, Eldrazar, you kind of almost have to steady your footing here as your surroundings are being just jostled by this thing. But what are you gonna do here?
I frantically dig in the sack, in the protected sack, and I draw out a torch and my tinder and steel, and I do as much as I can to get a fire going to light that torch.
Okay, fantastic. So yeah, you can you would have your flint and tinder, and I think you could definitely light the torch.
All right.
And then are you kind of just going to stand there, have it ready, but maybe not, or do you want to brandish it?
I as soon as I get it lit, I start digging around in the pouch also and draw out a flask of oil.
Okay.
Which I do have. Yeah.
Okay. Fantastic. So yes, I'll say that you can do that, and I think you're able to light the torch. You're able to pull out the flask of oil, but that's about all you have time to do on this round. So who's got a 2 on the initiative order? Okay.
I do.
You both do. All right. So I'm going to leave it up to you guys, Valdar and Salazar. Who do you think would go first?
Thief probably has higher dexterity, right?
Thief?
Maybe.
Probably.
I have 14.
Then you got higher. Go for it.
All right. So Salazar is coming conscious. He sits up, coughs out sand and water, looks around his surroundings, and like he's got this look like, oh, I'm still alive. Oh, not today, Papa, he says, and he kisses one of the holy symbols that he has around his neck on a chain. He has 4 of them, and he says, where are we? What's this going on?
It's a giant crab. Giant crab! Wake up, Salazar!
Oh, he gets his bearings, and then does he see the trap from where he is?
Oh yeah, I mean you would know, like you're sort of, you come conscious just as like the whole sort of debris of the ship is being jostled, and you see this big pincer and whatever. Yeah, and then you would have probably witnessed Cassius's like arrow into the thing. So yeah.
Okay, very well then. Then I will draw my short sword and
Wake up, man!
try and make my way around the back side of that shipwreck, that hull.
Okay. You want to make your way around back. Okay. Specifically unseen,
Yes.
or more just in a strategic manner?
Well, if I can make it unseen, yes, I will.
Yeah, I think
So
you
what would you
can.
like me-
I'm gonna actually say that because, let me see.
Well, just for point of information, I plan to give him a distraction
Okay, how do you plan to do that?
because basically Valder says, by Thor, I'll be damned if some seafood's gonna end me with sin," and he wades in with his broadsword.
Okay, then I would say in that case, being that that Cassius landed an arrow and this thing kind of backed off a little bit, and now he sees this human like brandishing his sword. Yeah, Salazar, you would have no problem sneaking around the back to try to get a strategic advantage for sure.
Yes, I'm trying to get a flanking attack on this creature. So I guess I'm spending my turn doing that, getting position.
Okay, fantastic. All right, and so Valdar, were you going to sort of just brandish your sword, or were you intending to run in and attack it?
Yeah, I'm running in and attacking him.
All right,
You got it.
Go for it.
All right, that's 12 plus 6, 18.
All right, so yes, you do manage to find purchase in the soft bits of its flesh. Go ahead and tell me how much damage you deal.
That's a total of 8.
Wow. Okay.
5 plus 3, yeah.
So while this gigantic crab has thick armor, once you manage to penetrate it, you find that it is not the toughest creature, and you do manage to bring it down. So if you will, go ahead and describe for me kind of what the killing blow looks like.
Well, it being a crab and having the hull like this, I imagine Valdar saying his little speech, charging, shield up, and thrusting over the shield between the 2 shells.
Awesome. Nice. And then I think that's awesome. Yeah. And then I think probably as that happens, your sword plunges in, and you immediately know. But then you realize 2 things happens. All of a sudden, this blood and ichor just starts like spraying out, and you have to put your shield up to block it from your face. And then you kind of have to leap and tumble out of the way as this whole thing comes down on you. And so as that happens, Salazar, you would immediately notice, just as you're kind of getting around here and you see the crab fall, and you see Valdar kind of tumble out of the way, you guys are not out of the woods yet. You see that these humanoid figures, there's 6 of them, and you can tell that they are your crew, but they don't look like they recognize you. They look really strange. And let me ask you something. You have these holy symbols, right? Have you sort of studied the tenets and the religious texts of any of these, or do you just kind of have them as good luck charms?
No. I just hedge my bets. That's all.
Okay.
I pray to multiple gods, depending on the situation.
So in that case, you feel like this might be a time for a prayer, because man, these things don't look right. And they're slowly moving, and as the crab kind of fell backwards, these things ascend on the crab, and you can see they stop and they start trying to like rip through its armor, and they're like they're finding the fleshy bits and they're just tearing at it and trying to like eat it.
Good, good, good. All right. I'll say a quick prayer to Nayuf, the goddess of silence, so that I can move away without making any noise. And I will move back to my companions and say, we must get out of here while these creatures are occupied with the fresh kill on the beach.
We could have dined well off of that, but you speak sense, man. Into the jungle.
Just be off
Let us
before
go.
they notice us.
Yes. Yes, exactly.
This is a macho D&D version of Feats Don't Fail Me Now.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's right. Run away! Run away!
And so, as you come off the beach and make your way into the thick jungle, whoever would be last in the order would look back and realize that apart from your gear, which you still have with you, you are potentially leaving some kind of supplies. You would know that there would have been barrels of water. There may have been some rations, rope, wood, all tools, stuff like that on the ship potentially. But it may not be worth taking those with you. And whoever is first into the jungle would realize that this is going to be a grind. The foliage is just so dense. It seems as though there have not been civilizations here that have hacked the jungle down. It is all just natural foliage, so it's very, very thick. So you immediately start getting in, and maybe 10 feet into the jungle, it's vines on your feet trying to trip you up, and great big swaths of just huge jungle fauna, like flora, just all over the place. So
I want to look back.
Who's up front?
I guess since I have the hand axe, right, will be my job to hack my way through this.
all right,
I'll be near the
You were
back.
saying Eldazar.
Yeah.
No, Valdar is in front. I want to look back and try to estimate how many of these, count them if I can. How many of these figures are actually on the beach? Because
Yep. Yeah, you could tell that there's only 6 that you can see. Only 6, the DM says.
yeah. So I'll look at these guys and I'll say, we seem to have been lucky in getting away. They're distracted with a crab. There's half a dozen of them, but it might be wise to procure more supplies and secure our retreat. I do have holy water here. You seem to be a man of some faith, I say at Salazar. I could arm you with vials of this holy water, and we could try to make an end of these foul creatures. They seem to be the undead, our own crewman risen. What say you? Do we proceed or secure the beach?
You sure they're not just driven mad by in the salt water?
In that case, the holy water will not do anything to them. And if they are not mad, then perhaps they can aid us in making our way through this jungle.
Maybe we should try to draw them away from the ship. Huh? Maybe somebody who's fleet of foot could go out there and draw them away, and then the others could move in, get the supplies, get them
So I
up.
pull up my bandana and I pull up my hood and I turn and I look and I say, "You better be volunteering yourself, sir."
Well, we all have to die sometime. Today was not my day so far, but today is still young, right? So we don't know.
I like your attitude.
We could do this. I will do this. All right. I will draw their attention.
just
And I
in
will run away.
case.
Jason.
Just in case, here is a vial of holy water. Might be worth having, and I'll hand you
Oh,
one of the vials.
all right. Thank you, Eldazar. I appreciate this. All right. I will, Salazar will then kind of walk up onto the beach.
I'll give everyone
quietly.
a single vial.
All right.
Oh, you got that much? Okay. Holy water vial. Okay. Yes. So Salazar will walk onto the beach and try not to get their attention until I'm kind of close enough, because I don't want them to know where I came from out of the jungle, if at all possible. And once I feel I'm close enough and far enough away from my companions, then I will say, "Hey, come and get me!" and make a bunch of noise, woo-hoo-hoo! And I'll start running down the beach, hollering and screaming.
Okay.
Do I have?
You definitely make it all the way, as far as you want to go before making any noise. They seem occupied with the crab. And as you're kind of making all this noise, right, you see they all look up for a minute, and then this is an easy meal right here on the beach, and you're moving and fast. And so 3 of them actually do look up and kind of slowly stand up, and they start shambling towards you.
This is not the chase that I anticipated. I look back at my companions. I'm like, what do I do? What do I do? So.
Okay, so
well.
are we in brush right now, or are we still thick in the woods? Are we waiting for him? Can we see him do this? Or?
Yeah, I think you could see him. I think you guys kind of just went, just into tree cover, but you could look out and see the beach still. Yeah.
Okay, so I turn to my companions and I say, you think you can reach them from here?
Well, if
I'm flicking my vial in my hand like I'm going to throw it from the point that we're at.
Weller says, I guess we can start with arrows, though, and he readies his own bow. And so he'll wave Salazar over as he raises his bow.
All right.
You want to what? You want to fire your bow and you want to call me over?
Yeah, he waves you over, so Salazar will bring him. So we can take care of these 3.
I see. You want me to? Okay, I got it. All right.
What
Okay.
you were gonna do, but instead of leading
I'll
them,
do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, on the beach, but no, I'll if only 3 are coming, that's what I'll do. I'll lead 3 of them towards you guys. All right. So that's
This
what I'll
is
do.
like old school D&D meets War of Warcraft kiting.
Excellent.
Look, come and get me, I say to them. Come on.
All
I'm still
right.
waiting. I'm fresher than the crab is.
Fantastic. So don't miss, because you don't want to hit Salazar. But these guys should be pretty easy to hit. So yeah, he's able to draw them in close enough that within bow shot. And so if you guys want, whoever's gonna fire, we're not gonna roll initiative. I'll let you go first.
Okay. We'll have a vial ready until they reach about 30 feet, and then
Okay.
I'll throw it.
Absolutely.
I got a 10 unmodified. So 13.
All right.
Wait, but you have, what's your dexterity?
16.
So that's a 15. And did you take specialty with the bow?
The weapon specialization.
Yeah.
So that's a 16. So
Yeah.
your bow
Because
plus 6.
your attack bonus at this point is +3 because you're level 4. A 16 dex is a +2
Yeah.
for bonus. Yep, and then +1 for your weapon specialization.
Okay.
Yep. So, So I mean, for your bow, if you want, you're always going to attack at a +6.
Okay. Perfect.
Wow.
And the specialization bonus applies for damage, even if the strength doesn't. So that.
Yep. Yep, absolutely. And that definitely hits. These things are slow and shambling and have no armor.
5 damage.
Okay. So you manage to bury an arrow into the leg of one of these creatures, slows it down, and it actually kind of falls, half falls for a minute, and it's still sort of like dragging itself towards Salazar. But you've definitely wounded it. And Valdar, how about you?
I rolled also a 10, but in my case that's a 14.
Yep, and that also hits.
And my die does 5 hits.
Okay, are you striking a different one than the one that he hit?
If at all possible, I try to bring down the same one.
Okay, then that does take that one down. Absolutely. Headshot. And it falls down.
Nice.
So, Eldrazar, you see one of these zombies go down. There's 2 left. Salazar's still running in. They're probably going to, within the next round, they will close within close enough range that you could throw your thing. Are you going to sort of stand and prepare for that, or do you have something else in mind?
No, I think I'm going to stand up here for.
Okay, fantastic.
Because if they're so far away, it's not much I can do now.
Cast a meteor swarm, man. That would solve this.
That would be nice.
And Salazar, I assume you are running far enough away from them that they would have to try to hurry up to get you.
Oh, definitely, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And they can't. They're slow. They seem to be shambling. So they're just going to continue following after you. But you do kind of sense/see one of them go down behind you. And what are excuse me, what are you going to do in this case?
I am just keeping them moving around. I'm going to just be running circles around them, so they can't draw a bead on where these arrows are coming from. They're more concerned with me, right?
Yeah.
So I'm making all kinds of noise and running around like a crazy man. Woohoo! Come get me! Come get me! All right. It tastes very nice. Come.
Perfect. Yep. And they do. They continue to kind of follow you around a little bit. Awesome. And so, but they are kind of now sort of holding out at kind of a medium, about a medium range. So certainly, Valdar and Cassius, they are within bow shot, no problem. Eldrazar, you would have to probably move out if you wanted to have any chance of throwing that vial. But are you guys going to fire your bows again at them?
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Yeah. And I'll move ahead, I guess.
You'll move up a little bit? Okay.
Yeah. If they're that slow, I'll just move ahead, throw, and then run back.
Yeah, for sure.
So.
I'm going to yell at Salazar, for the love of God, do not get touched by one of those things.
Nice.
So should we all roll? Or?
Yeah. Go ahead and everybody roll for me.
Ooh. 16 plus 2 is 18. I'm pretty sure I hit.
You do. You absolutely hit.
And that's 4 points of damage.
All right. So
for holy water.
Yeah, that'll hit both of them.
Nice.
Because I believe it's got a little bit of a splash damage. Yep, and they are within 5 feet. Okay, cool. Yeah, so the vial kind of breaks and the water goes everywhere, and you see these creatures, as their skin starts to burn and slough off a little bit. And then how about our archers? Are they going to be able to make short work of these guys?
No.
What'd you roll?
I got a 10.
Total?
Wow, with the +6 bonus? Oh, no. Yeah.
I rolled 9 plus 4, 13.
You do hit.
6 hits.
All right. You managed to take out another zombie, again, right in the head. Seems that the Iron Fist is the one lucky with the bow today, but Cassius, maybe what caused your shot to go wide is that you noticed that the canoe that was kind of attached, like a sort of a little boat that was attached to the big boat, is actually sitting there on the beach, and it's something potentially that might help you a little bit. But again, nice. you kind of have to go back the way you came to get it. Yeah.
So I turn and I look at all my companions and I go, brothers, that's my canoe. It's my brother's ancient canoe from a family tree line, and you guys will never understand how much it means to me. We got to take this thing with us.
It's probably a good idea.
As soon as we take these damn things down, it's all yours.
And with that, Salazar, you again, you feel and sense another one go down behind you. There's just this one left. Do you want to take your chances and try to take it down? It has been injured by holy water, or are you going to keep up the distraction?
No. I am quite fine to let the others shoot at it.
All right. And for those that watch later, that is being smart.
It's called being smart.
Exactly. Before we proceed, would any of you have likely seen the dead risen in your lives before this, or would this be the first time that you would have seen this, do you think?
I would think Eldrazar has studied, all sorts of, magical arts. So there's treatises on necromancy and the risen dead. Mm-hmm. So he probably has. Maybe he's seen it. Yeah.
All right. And so I think with that, you would definitely know, like, these things will not falter in their pursuit. Unless you kill them or you get out of the way, they will just come at you until they're dead.
That's what he does. That's all he does.
Salazar has never seen the living dead before. And these are such freshly dead bodies that to him they just look like maybe they've drank too much seawater and they've gone mad.
Yeah.
So that's all.
Yeah, Cassius hasn't seen undead before either, but it doesn't bother him because he's signed up for some pretty gruesome things before. But the thing is that mostly it's just the stench that's bothering him.
Yeah.
And he's weak after the shipwreck and all the other.
Valdar hasn't seen them either, but he grew up listening and believing in all these tall tales. So he's saying things like, drowned sailors should stay drowned. I'm going to send you back to hell if I have to.
Awesome. All right. Perfect. And so with that, Salazar keeps kind of running around a little bit. The ones over by the crab are making short work of that thing. I mean, you've seen they basically flipped it over and are just feasting on the underbelly of it, and they're making short work of it. You think that it's, they probably aren't going to take very long to finish this thing off.
Damn it, all we'll have left is the claw meat.
Which isn't high demand, but yes. They haven't gotten to the claws yet. So, all right. So what do you guys think? What do you want to do? We've got one zombie left. Who wants to take it out?
I'll try and take it out with... Oh, sorry. I'll try to take... Because I'm probably closest, right? So I'll try and take it out with an arcane bolt.
Okay, fantastic. So, make your ranged attack, but you can use your intelligence modifier instead of your dexterity modifier.
And by now, I'll, try to get within, maybe 10 feet of it. Mm-hmm. Because it's running, so...
Yep.
I still have a torch, and I use my free hand, I just gesture at it, and, oh my god, natural 20, so...
Oh, baby, all right.
Yes.
So I think I will use, in this case, just whatever damage you have, just double it for a crit.
And that's awesome because I just rolled a 3 on the D3, so that's a 6.
Awesome.
6 hits.
Okay. So this thing manages to still stay in its unlife, but just barely. So, I imagine as this arcane bolt of energy comes sort of flying out of your hand and just impacts on this creature, you would actually see this, this light. How do you imagine it would look? Would it be like this, what color light or what form would this arcane bolt take?
Yeah, it's probably like a greenish light, I suppose. Maybe like a... I don't know, maybe like a flaming arrow, but of greenish energy that flies off. Yeah.
Sweet, awesome. Okay, cool. So yeah, this like sort of green arrow kind of flies out of the wizard's hand, impacts into the thing, and you would see for a minute, it's like this glow as this bolt almost like sticks into it, and it's all kind of an illusory effect, but and then you can see the light from the inside start to like expand a little bit, and the sort of left side of this thing just kind of explodes out, and so this thing is sort of just kind of shambling at you with one arm. And Salazar, at this point, it has definitely turned its gaze from you. It no longer is concerned about you, but towards the thing that caused it so much pain. And Cassius, you would notice this as well. This thing is about ready to fall over. You know, probably it would fall over if somebody gave it a push.
The others are still occupied?
They are.
Okay. Is there a large rock I can sit down on and get the sand out of and water out of my boots?
Yeah, I think there would probably be like a rock or some kind of like debris or something. Yeah.
All right. So Salazar will plop himself down on the rock and take off his boots and start emptying sand while this last creature is handled, because I think his work is done for now, and he'll wait until the others, the other creatures maybe see him and try to decide to do something.
Yep,
stick
absolutely.
Sword in the sand, just kind of wait.
Sure. All right, and Cassius, what about you? Do you think do you want to try to take this guy out, or do you want to head over to this family heirloom of a canoe?
I'm in my angry and arrogant state of missing most of my shots, which I rarely ever do. So
you missed one. Then.
I'm torn from it though. That one arrow is breaking me up. So I walk up. I'm gonna walk right up to this zombie with my short sword and try to dice its head right now.
All right, excellent. Yep, go for it. And I'm gonna give you a +2 for this attack because it is distracted and it's basically half dead. So add +2 to whatever you would normally.
I critically missed.
No.
Did you really? Wow. Okay.
Bad dice night. Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Oh my god.
Yep. Well, it's good.
God.
Get those out of the way now. All right. And so, as you kind of go in, right, and you kind of stick your blade or try to stick your blade into it, I imagine that it kind of impacts with like the exposed spine, right? But it doesn't, you don't have a good, angle on it because you're used to firing the bow, and so it kind of like slips right up, and you actually like kind of tumble over a little bit, but you've now tumbled like kind of behind it and onto the beach, and your movement has drawn the notice of the other 3 zombies, and they kind of look up, and then they take like a few last bites off of this carcass, and they see fresh meat lying there prone on the ground, and so they're gonna start to get up and hobble their way over. And
do I see this?
You would, yep.
Yeah, and then I scream for help.
Yep. Yeah. All right.
Blast me.
And so, yeah, you guys do see this. Salazar, you would probably see this as well.
Have I got my boots back on yet, or are they still off?
Yeah, I would say you do.
All right. All right, so here they come. They're coming towards me, so I kind of, crink my neck a little bit. They're coming. Get my sword, swing it around a little bit. And I look back to my companions. Are we going to do the same thing again, or do you want to change it up a little?
Go for it. Valor has to go for it as he runs. Bow still in his left, draws his sword and tries to finish the guy off before he jumps on Cassius.
All right. Okay. All right. Then, are we rolling initiative at this point?
Yeah, why don't we do that at this point? We'll roll initiative. Oh, zombies don't need to roll.
All right.
And you guys can tell me this time what you get.
Sure.
5.
Oh, yeah. 6.
All right.
2.
Those ones.
Damn, man. Damn.
All right. Cool. All right. So, yeah, Salazar, you seem to be fleet of foot, aware. You get to act first. So there is still the one zombie like kind of looming over Cassius at this point, that failed attack. Although, he's not immediately over him, but because Cassius kind of fell back, but within 5 feet of him for sure. And then the others are probably
and the others,
will shamble over within a few rounds. They're probably 40 feet, 50 feet. Yeah,
lots of time.
Yep.
All right, I'll put an end to this one that's over Cassius.
All right, excellent.
I'll swing with my short sword into the base of his neck. Come. All right, 14.
Okay, you hit it, and he's only got 1 hit point left, so you'll kill it. So if you want to describe kind of what the killing blow looks like.
I just drive my short sword into the base of his skull. Probably comes out through part of his throat, and then I've got to kick. With my foot, I've got to pull my blade out of his the base of his skull, and let him fall to the ground.
Nice. And as he does so,
wipe it on my cloak.
Yeah. Perfect. And as he does so, you can see just the blood and whatever, it's all congealed, and it's just it's not the way a normal living person would die. It doesn't look like maybe what you've seen when people have gotten injured or slashed or killed. This and it's foul. It smells just tremendously bad. But yes, you have managed to take this thing out, and so for the moment, you guys, you have a moment or two before these other 3 are going to come at you. And surveying the beach, you don't see any other immediate signs of danger, but definitely the sort of supplies and whatever are still there near. At least whatever supplies are still available are still there. So let's see, Valdar.
All right, since nobody's close by, he's going to shoot an arrow at one of the 40, 50 feet away.
All right, go for it.
Ooh, 19 plus 4. That usually hits.
That does hit.
8. What is it with these dice today?
Wow.
8 hits.
All right. So, yeah, you kind of just let the shot go, and the bolt buries again right into the thigh of one of these things, and it kind of falters for a minute, and it's hobbling still, but it's a little bit slower. But, man, this determination on this thing, it's still coming for you. It's still alive. Do you want to try to reposition yourself, or are you going to stand and hope that you can take them down before they can make it to you?
Nah, I'll stand, because if they get close, I'll switch to sword and ward.
Okay, fantastic. And Eldrazar?
I fish in my sack again, and I draw another vial, and they're about 50 feet away, you said? Geez. And are we all standing like in a line? Somebody in front, or?
Well, I would imagine that Cassius is kind of like out farther ahead of you, and then I would think Salazar would have run up and kind of stabbed the one near that. So you and Valdar would be kind of sort of next to each other.
Sort of standing back. Okay, so I'll walk a bit forward to where the other guys are, so that I'm like 30, 50, 40 feet away.
Yeah. Yep.
All right, so I'm gonna try and throw that vial at them.
All right.
And that's an 8. Are they they're more than 30 feet out, right?
I mean, you could. Well, what's your movement? Overland, do you have?
I have all of it, because I have no armor. So it's
okay.
40. I think.
So I would say that it's possible to move within probably about 30 feet of them. Yeah.
Okay, so it's within 30. Then it's a 10 total.
A 10 total. All right. Yeah. That does not miss. And unfortunately, or does not hit. It does miss. Okay. And it goes whoosh, and kind of splashes off to the side a little bit of them, enough to kind of draw their attention a little bit, and it would slow them down for just a moment, probably as they're distracted. And Cassius, you kind of would see these guys kind of distracted and looking over at whatever this vial was for just a moment, and so you have an opportunity here if you want to take it to do something.
Okay. Well, I'm going to do like the HBK Shawn Michaels handspring back up onto my feet.
Yep.
And I'm going to try to dust myself off and regain some of my confidence that I obviously just lost.
Yep.
And just going to draw up with my longbow and just try to loose an arrow. Dig one in.
Okay, go for it.
Oh, a critical hit. Thank God.
Yes.
Yes.
Nice.
Yes.
Redemption. Yes.
Are you going to try to hit the one that's already been injured, or one of the fresh
No,
ones?
I'm not going to waste this on that.
Alrighty. Go ahead and roll your dice, and then whatever the result is, just double it for me.
Perfect.
So roll that 8.
And the
Four.
+1.
Okay, so you get a 4. Yes, +1. Okay. 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right. So this thing, again, you very similar. You bury your arrow kind of right into its chest cavity, and it staggers it back and kind of knocks it down. And then you can see it trying to kind of get itself up, but instead what it's doing is it's kind of just grabbing with its arms in the beach, just kind of slowly trying to grab its way towards you guys. So there's still 2 standing, but one is injured. This one is just crawling, and there seems to be one left that is that's now going to try to come for you. Actually, what are there? Let's see. Yeah, so one of them is going to try to get to you. The other 2 can't make it. Let's see. No. Well, what's your armor class? No, it can't hit you. Never mind. Unless it's less than 8. No. All right. So it kind of comes at you and tries to take a swing. But, you kind of manage to, like, dodge out of the way or maybe parry it a little bit. Definitely does not hit you. And let's re-roll initiative because I like doing it each round. I think that's the raw way to do it, but
I like it that way too.
me too.
Yep. Oh. Uno.
Wow.
I joined Drew's club.
Nice. Todd, what did you get again?
1.
What, 3 1s? What is going on here?
Oh no!
All right. Well, so Eldrazar, you seem to be the one that gets to act here.
There's 1 wounded guy and
2 wounded guys.
Oh, that's right.
And one
Yeah.
non-wounded guy. Yeah.
And the non-wounded guy is in melee range for you and Cassius.
Oh.
He just took a swing at Cassius.
Yeah. So I'm gonna